If your family's income dropped significantly after you filed your FAFSA this year, your child's financial aid package is almost certainly wrong, and you have the legal right to fix it. That's what a professional judgment appeal is for. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to file a FAFSA appeal after a 2026 job loss step by step, from finding the right office to submitting a letter that actually gets approved. And there's one piece of documentation that doubles the approval rate of these appeals. I'll tell you what it is in a minute, but first, the process. Take Diane. She's in her mid-40s, an operations coordinator who was laid off in early 2026 when her employer downsized. She's been freelancing as a virtual office manager since then, bringing in somewhere between $800 and $1,100 a month. Enough to keep things running, but nowhere near what she was earning before. Her son is in college. His financial aid package was built on her prior year's income, which looked completely different. So the package the school put together, it doesn't reflect her family's real situation anymore. That gap is exactly what the FAFSA appeal process exists to close. Here's the thing most people don't know. Financial aid offices have the authority to adjust your aid based on current circumstances. That authority comes directly from the FSA Handbook Chapter 5. That's the federal document that governs professional judgment. The statute gives financial aid administrators the power to use professional judgment to adjust the data elements on your FAFSA when there are special circumstances that make the standard information inaccurate. A job loss in 2026 is explicitly one of those circumstances. You're not asking for a favor. You're invoking a federal process. Now, two thresholds matter here, and you should know them before you walk in the door. The first is the 20% threshold. A drop of roughly 20% or more in household income is generally the level where appeals are taken seriously. The second is the 10-week guideline. If your reduced income situation has been in place for at least 10 weeks, you have a documented pattern, not just a rough month. Diane's layoff hit in January 2026. By the time her son's spring semester started, she had well over 10 weeks of freelance income records showing the new reality. That timing matters. Step 1 is finding the right channel at your school. Don't just email the general financial aid inbox and hope it lands somewhere useful. Go to the school's financial aid website and look specifically for a page labeled Special Circumstances, Income Change, or Professional Judgment Appeal. Most four-year schools have a dedicated form or a specific email address for these requests. Diane went to her son's school website, found the Special Circumstances request form under the Financial Aid tab, and used the email address listed there, not the front desk number. That's the right move. If the school doesn't have a visible process listed, call the office and ask directly. What's the procedure for submitting a professional judgment appeal for a FAFSA Special Circumstances review? Use that language. It signals you know what you're talking about, and it helps whoever answers route you to the right person. Someone like Marcus, the financial aid officer who actually reviews these files. Step 2 is gathering your documentation. I'll tell you what that one piece is in just a moment, but first, the full picture. For a FAFSA appeal job loss situation, you'll generally need around 7 to 8 core documents. Your termination or layoff letter from the employer with the date. Your most recent pay stubs from before the layoff. Your current income records showing what you're actually earning now. In Diane's case, that was her freelance invoices and bank deposit records. A signed statement from you explaining the income change and its connection to your FAFSA data. And any documentation of unemployment benefits you've received or applied for. Now, the one document that genuinely changes outcomes. It's a projected income statement for the current year. Not just what you've earned so far. A written, month-by-month projection of what you expect to earn for the full calendar year, signed by you. Financial aid officers are making a forward-looking decision. They need to see the full year picture, not just a snapshot. When Diane built out a simple projected income sheet showing her actual January through April freelance earnings, then her realistic estimate through December, Marcus had something concrete to evaluate. Without that projection, he's guessing. With it, he's reviewing. That document alone shifts the conversation from "we'll see" to "let's calculate." Build it, sign it, include it. Step 3 is structuring the FAFSA appeal letter itself. This is where most people lose ground. Not because they don't have a case, but because the letter doesn't lead with the right information. Here's what a good letter does. It opens by naming the federal authority, professional judgment under the FSA Handbook Chapter 5. It states the nature of the change in plain terms. Job loss date, former income, current income. It references the documentation attached. It makes a specific ask. Don't just say, "Please review my situation." Say, "I am requesting a professional judgment review to adjust my FAFSA income data to reflect my current financial circumstances." Then it closes with your contact information and a clear statement that you're available to provide anything additional they need. What the letter doesn't do is apologize, over-explain, or emotionalize. Diane's first instinct was to write 3 paragraphs about how hard things had been. That's understandable. It's also counterproductive. Marcus isn't evaluating your hardship story. He's evaluating whether your documentation supports a data adjustment. Keep it factual, keep it direct, keep it short. 1 page, 2 at most. The template version of this letter is built into the pack at fafsa-appeal.pages.dev. It handles the structure, the professional judgment language, and the specific ask. And it's got a version for freelance and self-employed situations like Diane's. Step 4 is following up. Submit your appeal and then wait 5 to 7 business days before you follow up. When you do, don't call the general number. Call or email the specific contact from the Special Circumstances page. Your follow-up is not a pressure tactic. It's a status check, and it's also a chance to provide anything they've asked for that you haven't sent yet. Diane followed up by email on day 6, referenced her submission date, and asked whether any additional documentation was needed. That's it. 2 sentences. Marcus responded the same day with 1 clarifying question about her unemployment filing status. She answered within a few hours, and the review moved forward. A few things to keep in mind as you're doing this. Schools set their own internal deadlines for professional judgment appeals. Some schools stop accepting them after a certain date in the academic year. So don't wait. File as soon as your documentation is in order. Also, the appeal decision is institution-specific. The federal statute gives the school the authority. It doesn't mandate a particular outcome, which means the quality of your submission genuinely matters. A complete, well-organized, clearly written FAFSA appeal letter with solid documentation outperforms an emotional but incomplete one every single time. Now here's the payoff. And this is the thing Diane got wrong on her first pass, and it's the same thing that trips up most people doing a FAFSA appeal 2026. She submitted everything correctly, but she used her 2025 tax return figures as her current income reference without annotating them. Marcus looked at the return, looked at her claim of reduced income, and couldn't reconcile the two without a phone call. That gap between what the prior year tax data shows and what your current situation actually is has to be bridged explicitly in your letter. You can't assume the reviewer will connect the dots. You have to connect them. Your letter needs a sentence that says something like, "My 2025 tax return reflects income that is no longer representative of my current circumstances due to the following change that occurred in 2026. Then you lay out the change. When Diane resubmitted with that sentence added and the projected income statement attached, the appeal moved through in 4 business days. Her son's aid package was adjusted. The gap closed. That's the how to appeal FAFSA process. The federal authority, the documentation stack, the letter structure, the follow-up, and the one thing that connects your past tax data to your current reality in a way that makes the reviewer's job doable. If you can do those 5 things cleanly, your appeal has a real shot. If this helped, a like genuinely tells YouTube to show it to other parents in the same situation. And there are a couple more videos on this channel walking through specific appeal situations if you want to keep going. Don't wait on this. File while your documentation is fresh and the school's window is still open.